Hey guys, how's it going? Octopus here and welcome back to Union Cross. We're going to be talking about JP's new game mechanic called Super Blast, which is going to be coming to global for sure because it's attached to a medal and it's not actually in the game itself. It's only if you acquire the medal. But quick shout outs to Roboloid for his translations. Fern Gaming, the first person to message me on Discord about this and actually went back and forth, talked to me about it. We're going to be using Fern's videos to showcase Sephiroth and all that it does with the new Super Blast. And also Endorphin, I checked out your 1-minute video, so shout out to you as well, buddy. All links will be in the description for them. Let's jump into this and let's talk about Super Blast, what it does, and is it gonna break us? Is it gonna break us, especially in PvP? Because this skill does more damage in PvP than it does in PvE, but it's still useful in PvE. So let's start with the translation that Roboloid gave us. So Super Blast or Super Burst. When you equip a Super Burst type medal, so a medal has to have the Super Burst. So not every medal is Super Burst. Only the new one that came out so far is Sephiroth. We're going to talk about that in the next video, all his damage and all that, but for now we're going to focus on Super Burst. So, you can fire off Super Burst if you have a Super Burst medal. With the Super Burst medals on your Keyblade, you can fire off more casts with the more Super Blast medals you have slotted on that Keyblade, including the Friend medal. Super Burst is more powerful with respect to the power of the medal, so the strength of the medal. It is affected by slot multipliers, meaning your Keyblade, if you have 3.5, 2.0, wherever you put that on there, and it has to match that medal, it'll affect how much damage a Super Burst does. And also, what doesn't affect it is guilt bonus or skills. So you know how like you roll traits on a medal and then you roll guilt if you have all the orbs filled up? Guilt doesn't count towards Super Burst damage. And if you have attack boost max on there, it won't affect the Super Burst damage. It is strictly the medal's strength and the medal's slot multiplier. That's the two main key features, and I believe traits do affect it, but the only trait I think affects it is strength at the moment. Maybe -60 might affect it as well. I don't know if it works like that or not, but I know strength multipliers work because I'm gonna kind of show you an example of why I think that. So again, Roboloid, thank you for that translation, so we know what works with it, what doesn't work with it. And now let's jump in and look at what it does. So as you guys can see on the screen here, we have a Sephiroth sitting on a 4.654 multiplier. This is a PvP match that's just about to happen right now. So there's Sephiroth, beautiful medal by the way. We're going to talk about him very, very soon. He's got a strength multiplier of 17,000 because he got a good amount of traits on this guy, a good amount of traits. Now on this screen here, really important, you can see all the traits, but down here, that is your Super Blast skill. So when you look at the first screen, you see how you have a skill over here that says Sephiroth, cast whatever it does, strength, reverse power, all that, buffs and debuffs. That is to Sephiroth's first skill. But for the Super Blast skill, it doesn't reapply all those buffs and debuffs. It is just itself, it's a damage multiplier. That's right, 120 multiplier of damage. It's single target, just like the medal itself. I'm pretty sure, or sorry, not like the medal itself. I'm pretty sure that Super Blast is just going to be single target. You can see that Sephiroth is AoE, but if you look over here, the Super Blast is single target. So they might do Super Blast for AoE later on, but right now they have Super Blast single target. So Fern does have a bunch of plus 1000 traits, and this is why I think it affects it, because I'm pretty sure when we look at the PvE, he uses his Friend medal. The Friend medal doesn't have as much strength, and it does a lot less, including being a Friend multiplier on the Keyblade. So we got to keep that consideration. But it's a second skill. Skill number 1 is the one that's attached there. It does buffs and debuffs. It has its own multiplier, 14.36. That mixes with the guilt, but the Super Blast has it 120% because it doesn't mix with the guilt. So as you guys can see right there, 120 guilt multiplier. So we're going to go into the PvP match, and I'm going to show you the example of when he uses Super Blast. So according to Super Blast, you can use it once per battle. So it's just like Nova. You can only use Nova 1 per battle as well. You can't use it again, so you only can use it as many casts as you have on that Keyblade. So I'm not sure on this part, is that if this Keyblade is used and you don't use it, can you use it on your second round? I got to figure that out still. I think it's only according to the Keyblade it's equipped to, so that might disappear on the second round. I got to do testing for myself on that, but that is there. So Super Blast, after you use all your buffs and the debuffs, so using your Kyrie, your stained glass medals, whatever you're using to buff your attack, lower the enemy's defense, that affects the power of Super Burst. So Super Burst, you got to click on it and drag your finger down to activate it. You can see he's having a little bit of an issue there trying to hit it. You got to click on it, hold it, and then go downwards and choose the super burst. So super burst right here is going to do, boom, 14 million damage, guys. It did 14 million damage, so it's not a joke. The more super burst medals you have on your Keyblade, the more damage you're going to do, because you can activate more than one for each Sephiroth you have on there, or any future super burst medal. So that's PvP. When you go to the next round, there's not really example because he doesn't have two of them, so you can't see on his next round a super burst symbol. There's going to be no Nova and no super burst. It's gone. He used it. You can't use it again. So that's video number 1. And now video number 2 showcases him using this in PvE, because specifically the medal says that it does a lot of damage in PvP, but it still works for PvE. So we know what Fern's Sephiroth looks like, 17,000 strength. Here's his friend medal, 14,000 strength. He's probably got traits as well too, but you guys got to remember that Sephiroth in a friend slot has a different outcome of damage. You can see 45,408. Depending on what Keyblade you use, your friend medal will do more damage or less damage depending on the level and the type of Keyblade. So you got to keep that consideration when we're looking at damage difference, but this is why I think traits matter, because when we go into the match and he hits the enemies with this, so you're going to buff with your Xion, so there's 2 skills. So the more super burst medals you have, the more you can activate. There's 2 of them there. You're going to fast forward. He uses a Xion for his buffs and debuffs, and he uses his super burst on the first enemy. Again, single target, because it says it, 107 million damage. And now he's going to use a second super burst, which is his friend's, and you're going to see about half that damage there, 57. Now I think that's a mixture of extra strength being on his, and also the friend multiplier on the Keyblade is a lot weaker than the one he currently has as well. So that is super burst. I might have been saying super blast at the same time. I'm just thinking about it now. I feel like that came out of my tongue. I apologize. It's super burst. They might change it in the global version to something else. Maybe I'm predicting it, but that is super burst. I think it's going to be kind of broken, and like I said, it's 1 per round. So you see how there's no more there, just like Fern is doing right now. There's no more super burst in that corner. It's like Nova. Once you use it, it's gone. It doesn't matter what round you go into. It's not like the pet HP recovery where it's 1 per battle in round. It's just the whole level. If you use it, it's gone. So keep that in mind, and that's why I think in PvP it might carry over to the next couple turns. It's for everyone that's equipped, so you might see a shit ton of super burst in 1 level. But the reason I hope it's not like that, because what if all 3 Keyblades is pure super burst? Then technically the first Keyblade just goes super burst, super burst, super burst, super burst, super burst, and it's kind of OP, right? So I think it's only equipped per round in PvP, but I'm gonna double check that right now before we continue. So yeah, just check with the Discord, and pretty much it's straightforward. It's only on the Keyblade to use it. So round 1, if you have 1 super burst and you don't use it, it doesn't carry over to round 2 or 3. So use it on the Keyblade for that round. Like I said, it would have been pretty broken if you can just stack them up all in one section. So 6, 12, 18, or sorry, no, it's 5 because you don't. No, it is 6. 6, 12, 18 super blast on one Keyblade setup would be really, really broken. So that is pretty straightforward. And I think that's it for super burst. It is going to be a great mechanic to help us in PvE content. They're probably going to raise the power gap. So instead of giving us more buffs on like strength and defense down and all that, raising the buff cap, they added this new game mechanic called Super Burst, which I don't know how I feel at the moment, because it's going to be very PvP exclusive. If you don't pull for that Sephiroth, you're not going to be doing good on those couple of rounds of PvP anymore. It's not exclusive to just Sephiroth. It's going to come out to future medals, but for that first week of his banner being the only medal and then non-mercy pull, that PvP week's going to be pretty broken in my opinion. But after that, they're going to start releasing more and more medals. Remember, new mechanic exclusively to people with non-mercy, but then every medal is probably going to have it in the future. It's probably going to be a norm. Like everyone's going to have 6 casts, 7 casts of Super Burst on every medal, but remember, it's affected by the medal strength and the Keyblade multiplier, so that's very important. And it looks like traits do work on this, unless that difference there was just because of the friend multiplier. It's new. This is my first coverage on this. When it comes to global, or I know more about it, I'll make more videos, more into detail and everything. But for now, I just wanted to give you guys a little touch up on what's going on with this Super Burst and what do we expect in the future. Sephiroth is sweet. I'm most likely not going for him because he's not mercy, and it's okay if I miss it on 1 or 2 weeks of PvP. It's all right. I don't have pet rank 11 right now, so it's about the same thing with people having 6 extra double cast on their medals. If you didn't know about pet rank 11, it's pretty broken as well, and top PvP players have it. So that's pretty much for Super Burst, guys. If you want to add anything down below that I might have missed, because again, this is my quick research that I got to do and talk to everyone about. I'm pretty sure it works like this, but we'll see when it comes to global if they change anything or if they decide to tweak this later on, or maybe we're all just totally wrong and this is not how it works. But either way, if you guys did enjoy the video, don't forget to hit the like button, and as always, thank you so much for watching. Keep on smiling, and I'll see you in the next one.